There is absolutely no point working this hard and making all of this money if you have no idea or no plan about what you're going to do with all that money when you finally get it. So you might be thinking, why do I need a plan if this is going to happen in 30, 40 years when I'm actually rich and I'm going to retire? Well, there's a quote for that. Failure to plan is planning to fail. I should probably take my own advice on this. Anyway, let's expose myself. No, not in that way. I'm going to expose my naivety through a short story. So let's go. Roll the intro. So this past weekend I was at a wedding and talking to some old pals, and as I always do, I was talking about how amazing I am. I'm joking, of course. We were talking about personal finance and investing. Jeez, I'm fun at parties, aren't I? So I was telling my old pal that when I was younger, I used to think that all you needed was a massive pile of money. So you just work. Then at the end of your working life, you are officially retired. You go to Greenbox Bank and the goblin opens your vault. He says,
Vault 687.
and he opens the vault to a massive pile of coins, massive pile of money, and then that's yours forever, yours to keep, and you just have to make that last. One gold medallion or whatever the currency in Hogwarts is, and you should be able to make that last until you die, and you just keep coming back to the bank, taking a couple medallions or whatever they're called, till the vault is empty. And although that is a silly story, I genuinely did think that, because you don't get taught this stuff at school, which I think is a travesty, and travesty, is that the right word? But we don't get taught the power of compounding and saving and investing for your future. You just get taught how to sort of memorise a textbook, which is not very helpful, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, this is not a video about the school system, it's a video about why you need a plan, so you would get on with it. People just tend to assume that you just work, and then save and just continue doing that until you get to retirement age, and then it's all sorted for you. You get to just retire and somehow money comes in and you're all good. But it really doesn't work like that. Imagine how many people would have a different outlook on life, a different outlook on money and work if they knew that you don't have to wait until the government tell you to retire. You can retire whenever you want. It's not the government's choice, it's actually your choice, because you've got to remember that retirement is actually a number rather than age. Sorry, that was a bit preachy. Now let's get on to some practical advice on how you can actually get rich and how you can retire on that richness. So if retiring is actually a number rather than age, how do we work out that number? Well, it's actually taken from the FIRE movement, so that's financially independent, retire early. So there are some simple calculations which will allow you to work out this number, and we're going to go through an example based off sort of my life, and hopefully that can be applied to yourself. But please remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. So step one is calculate your future expenses. So by this I mean you need to calculate your current expenses, and then you sort of need to add on what your dream expenses would be in order to get to the right amount of money that you need every single month. So the additional stuff could be the cost of your dream house, the dream car, the dream amount of holidays, etc, etc. So for me, let's work it out now. As of right now, in order to pay all of my bills, so we've got rent, council tax, TV license, cinema, gym, all of these random things that add up to around £1,000 per month. This doesn't include food or spending money / holidays, so let's add another 500 quid. That's not how much I usually spend, but we just want to be on the higher side because everyone always tends to under budget and overspend. So we just want to be on the opposite side of that. So now we're at about £1,500 per month after tax, and this is the absolute minimum that I would need in order to retire, so a very lean FIRE, as some people will call it. Anyway, let's keep going and add the additional expenses on now. So let's say we wanted to move into a nicer flat, or we wanted to actually buy a place. I was looking on Rightmove around our area. It's a very expensive area, so a 2-bed terraced house would be all that we could afford, but it is a very expensive area, and that's the price you pay for living in a place you want to live, if that makes sense. And if we were to do that, that would increase my housing expenses by around £750 per month. So we're looking at around £2,250 now. So it's slowly creeping up, but it's all okay, we'll keep going. Then let's say we want to have a nicer car than my Vauxhall Corsa. So let's say that's around £250 per month, including everything. So that's maintenance, petrol, blah, blah, blah. So it might not be a Ferrari, but it'll be something half decent. And now we're at 2,500, and then let's put £250 on for holidays. So now we're at 2,750. So shout out to Papa Copeland, aka my dad, he always says that you should double whatever you budget. So let's double it, let's put it up to 5 grand, round it up to 5 grand per month, because you never know what the additional expenses will be, whether that is school fees, that is a divorce, hopefully not, or just something random that happens that means that your expenses have doubled. So that might be a bit extreme, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and to be a bit over than a bit under. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be having money troubles when you're retired. You want to be living the life, having no care in the world, just evil Knieveling it, you know what I mean. So 5 grand a month in order to retire comfortably would be 60 grand after tax. So for me, that would be plenty and a significant amount more than I'm currently earning. So it would be like I'm rich as. Step 2 is you need to calculate the number you need invested in order to retire. For me, the calculation is 25 years times £60,000 per year equals £1.5 million invested. So this will allow me to retire with £60,000 every single year based off a 4% withdrawal rate. This 4% rule has come under some scrutiny, so it's maybe better to overshoot your goal, because essentially you don't want to run out of money. Step 3 is you need to work out how much you need to save every single year in order to reach this target as quick as possible. So obviously this all depends on your income and how much your savings rate is. So the higher income you have, the quicker you'll get there if you're aiming for my target. But because you're on a higher income, you might actually realise that you want more in your retirement. So your number will be more. And going back to my story earlier, it's actually really important to remember you don't actually need to save £1.5 million and put it into your Green Gots bank account, because the savings that you make will be invested and they will be compounding over time. So you'll get there a lot quicker than if you did actually try and save £1.5 million. So let's take an example. Let's say I saved 25% of my income, and just as a rough figure, we'll say that's 5 grand over the year. Hopefully I will make a bit more than that, but I don't really know because I've obviously just gone self-employed. So come back next year and we'll find out. If I was able to save that 5 grand a year, then I would hit my target after 40 years of £1.5 million at the ripe old age of 65. Bang on retirement. Now, I don't think that's too bad, considering this is based off my income not changing at all and just investing and saving 5 grand a year. So hopefully my income will go up, then I can speed it up a little bit. And also, if I was making 25k a year and saving 5k a year, and then to retire on 60k a year, that'd be pretty tasty. I would definitely be living like a king in my retirement. So I've got a couple more examples. Let's say that we decided to save 30% and our after-tax income was 40k. Let's see how quickly that changes things. So it actually changes things quite a lot, and you get there much faster. So instead of being 65, it would be around 54, 55, which I think is a pretty decent age to retire, and probably a lot lower than most people. So one more quick example, if I managed to make 90k a year before tax, that's around 60k per year after tax. So on equal with the retirement, it would actually only take 25, 26 years. So around my 51st birthday, or just before my 51st birthday, I would actually reach my goal and be able to retire. So I think that's pretty good. Hopefully I can aim for those heights and we'll get there fairly soon. But to emphasize the point, the quickest way to get rich and to retire early is to increase your income and increase your savings rate. So that is the goal for me, and that is the goal for hopefully most people. So although it is a while away, I just wanted to answer the question what we will do when we actually get to retirement, and how do you actually live off your investment. So some people do use that 4% rule that I mentioned earlier, but there has been some scrutiny around that, whether that's the right method or it's a bit too much. I think obviously when we get to retirement age in 20, 30 years, depending on how long your horizon is, we should be able to work out what the best sort of withdrawal rate is. 4% may be too much by then, it may be too little, who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. But basically this rule suggests that you withdraw 4% when you first retire, and then you adjust that figure by inflation. So this allows you to keep up with inflation and hopefully not run out of money. So hopefully you'll get to a point where you can withdraw that 4%, and it'll be in your back pocket when I see you in Benidorm, and I'll be getting the first round in because I'm nice like that. So anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you've enjoyed this video and you've got some value out of it. If you have, please drop it a like and make sure you get your free shares down in the description. And I'm not a millionaire, but I'm trying to help you become one. So, peace!